everyone? What is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. It is entirely possible that with this episode of Monday Night Raw tonight, we have all been proven right when we tell you guys that we write this show, they write this show specifically for one man, that man being Roman Reigns. And with Roman Reigns not being around tonight to take part in Monday Night Raw, they were truly lost in a directionless and absolutely atrocious episode of Monday Night Raw, and we are going to bring the hammer down on it for you guys right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review. Oh, let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. As always, this Monday Night Raw review is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering a free 30-day trial and one free audiobook download to fans of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show just for trying out their service. All you have to do is go to audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv to sign up right now. It is absolutely free. Over 180,000 titles to choose from, some wrestling related, as you see in front of you right now. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv for your free audiobook download and 30-day free trial. Now that that is out of the way, let's let the hammering commence. Thank you guys so much once again for joining me on a very, very busy week once again on the channel. 24 hours removed from WWE Evolution. What did we say about Evolution last night? We said that it was not as bad as we expected it to be. It still had a litany of problems with it. But there were nowhere near as many problems with Evolution as there was with tonight's Monday Night Raw. You want to get back to business as usual, and business as usual absolutely fucking sucks. This show was a nightmare to get through. I found myself on my couch with my eyes rolling in the back of my head, and I'm just slapping myself. Just come on, bro. Wake up. We can do this, man. We can get through this. Let's do it for Roman. Because that's what they do for every Monday Night Raw, right? It was always done to push one man. Tonight's show had absolutely no direction. Look at the main event matchup we got tonight. Dolph Ziggler versus Apollo Crews. That's the best you got as a lead-in to the Crown Jewel pay-per-view this Friday. A pay-per-view that's covered in controversy, that just absolutely stinks. It's got a stench of just nobody wants this to be happening, regardless of the political controversies of everything going on with that. Before that was even happening, nobody wanted this show to be going down. It's just another useless cash grab show by the WWE in a time where they should not be doing such a thing. Just so far away, not even that far away, I should say, from Evolution. It's like 6 days after the all-women's, historic, let's push women and all this nonsense, and now we're going to a place that push women down under the ground, underneath their boots, and under anything else they could put them underneath to keep them hidden away from the world. So that's what we're going to do now, right? And we got to sit here and say, yippee, hooray, we're having a Crown Jewel friggin' pay-per-view with Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles and blah, blah, blah. We're supposed to get hype and excited about this. This was your go-home show, and this is what you had. This was the best you did for guys like me to try to change my mind and go, oh, you know what? Maybe I should watch this show. You want to go off the air with 4 people in their 50s that look like a bunch of old men trying to have a bad bar fight. I'm so sick of it. You right now are looking at one of the biggest Triple H marks of all time, if not the biggest Triple H fan there has ever been. I have worn every single t-shirt the man has ever printed. I have been anything that he has been behind. I have been 100% for Triple H. I'm not one of those guys that hate Triple H. Oh, he buries guys, he keeps people down. Maybe he has done those things in the past, and that's one of the things he'll have to live with, and that was probably the worst thing about the guy. But as far as wrestling goes, his character, his persona, his in-ring ability, he was my guy. in the Attitude Era. I wasn't a Rock guy. I wasn't an Austin guy. I was a Triple H guy. So for me to sit here in 2018 and tell you that I don't want to fucking see Triple H's Kratos-looking face in the wrestling ring anymore unless he wants to fight somebody like a Samoa Joe or a Shinsuke Nakamura, or if we can get Triple H versus AJ Styles, Triple H versus Aleister Black, Triple H versus somebody new, somebody he can put over and do some good with for the company. Why do I gotta sit here and watch him wrestle an Undertaker with two bad hips? They don't even look like themselves anymore. You got H-Bald K coming out there with the one eye going everywhere, wearing a headband, making himself look even worse. What kind of a fucking headband is that? He looks like he's wearing a sleep mask on top of his head. Was he ready for nap time after the match since he's so fucking old? I'm so sick of this. It's just happening because there's no reason behind it. It's random. It was supposed to be the last time ever we seen Triple H and The Undertaker in the ring together. Oh, but it was one-on-one, Mr. Nightmare. I don't give a shit if it's 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 12-on-12, 10-on-10 like the women's match tonight. I don't want to see this shit anymore. These guys tried to pull a sneak attack on the Brothers of Destruction tonight. DX came out there looking way not like DX. Okay, now I know people get old. I'm getting old. I don't look like I did when DX was running around, but I'm not trying to be that guy that I was back then. I'm an all-new Nick Nightmare now. Back then I wasn't even Nick Nightmare yet. You evolve, you change with the times. We don't need to see this shit anymore. It's ruining the quality of the show. When you want to make that the focal point of a pay-per-view in this year, then the pay-per-view doesn't need to be happening. There was so much wrong with this show right from the get-go. Brock Lesnar wants to come out there, right? And he's got to have this match at this ridiculous crown jewel thing. And what was the purpose of him coming out there? To get booed out of the building? It is clear to me, it's clear as day, that the rest of the WWE Universe, at least where they were tonight in the Carolinas, they don't want anything to do with Brock Lesnar being the Universal Champion anymore, and neither do I, and neither do you. I know you don't. You want to see this guy win the belt over Braun Strowman on Friday and then disappear for 3 months again? Talk about Daniel Cormier and this and that. UFC. You want all that to continue to bring down the Universal Championship? Of course you don't, because you love wrestling. You know the WWE is a bunch of lazy bastards and they don't know what the fuck to do without their big dog. The big dog has left the yard and now the owners are scrambling because they don't know what to do. Where is our dog? Where is our dog? What about all the other little animals? We got little birdies, we got little fishes and cats, we got some snakes roaming around over here, we got a lunatic thing over there. Maybe we won't make him say anything, but, you know, we got all these other animals that we got to tend to. Oh, no, but the big dog is gone. What do? We had a whole show. We were going to make it about Roman. They still found a way to make it about Roman. You know, we're all for the guy getting better. I am. I want him to get better and come back. It's safe to say that the show is absolutely better with Roman Reigns because at least there is a direction. Because this show was directionless without him. It was just a bunch of randomness. And my man, Bobby Lashley, yeah, trashy Leo Rush, baby. If it looks like ass and it smells like ass, then it's guaranteed to be ass. And that's what Bobby Lashley is to Monday Night Raw, and that's what Monday Night Raw was to all of us. What was good about this show outside of the announcement for the Survivor Series? One match announced for Survivor Series. Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, champion versus champion. Fantastic. Fantastic booking decision. Too bad you only got like 2 or 3 weeks to try to build it up and that this wasn't something you've been working on already. Because it could have been even bigger and even better. But I'm not going to nitpick because this is going to be good. At least it's not Charlotte, and at least where you don't have to sit through Ronda Rousey wrestling somebody who can't barely even wrestle at the Survivor Series. It should be a good match. It should be interesting. It's going to be a very tough way to book it. Do you see them giving Becky Lynch a win over Ronda Rousey? I certainly don't think so. So in that aspect, I'm not too sure whether I'm going to be on board with Ronda Rousey going over Becky Lynch. But I will take that, and I will be excited about it. What I won't be excited about is the day after the Evolution pay-per-view, you got 10-woman tag team match scheduled for Monday Night Raw. You had nothing else in your brain that you could do. You got the Survivor Series 3 weeks away. You're guaranteed that they're going to have a 5-on-5 or a 4-on-4 Survivor Series style match. Most likely one for the women and one for the men. Why not have qualifiers? Why not kick off the road to Survivor Series tonight? Why not do some interesting things with these girls? Have Trish Stratus take on Liv Morgan for the right to be on the Raw Survivor Series team. At least it would be different. It would be new. It would have the sense, well, these girls wrestle. But, instead what we got is just what we got with the Battle Royal. We don't know what to do with these 11 females. There was 10 girls in the match, but don't forget Alexa, who had to stand out there on the outside and do nothing like she likes to do. We got nothing else for you ladies tonight. You had your night last night, ladies. Don't fucking worry about tonight. Just go out there. You all go out there in one big group. You guys pick your own teams. We don't even give a shit if it makes sense. Just go out there, have your multi-person tag, and get off my show. The rest of the night has to go to Nia Jax. The rest of you guys don't mean jack shit. This is the Evolution. This is where Evolution has brought us, to a 10-woman tag team match and a singles match later in the night where the actual wrestler, the talented wrestler with a good gimmick and the potential to go far in an Ember Moon, gets beaten by a political agenda in Nia Jax. Let's let the big girl win. Can you explain to me what's happening with Nia Jax? Look at what we saw in the Battle Royal last night. We saw that momentary teaming with Tamina, and then we had Nia Jax eliminate Tamina towards the end of the night. And now Tamina's coming out. Tamina is coming out on Raw, getting involved and distracting Ember Moon, and then she gets in the ring after Nia Jax beats Ember Moon in under 3 minutes. Unacceptable by that fact alone for them to stare at each other. What's up, Boos? What's up, cuz? Sup, Boos? Nothing. No words, just staring. And then Tamina leaves. And then the announce team, what are we seeing? What is this? What is that? Is she helping? What is she doing? Do you care? The moment was made last night at Evolution. It should have just went on from there. Whatever it is you were going to do should have continued that way. Having Nia Jax bury Ember Moon. Rest in peace, Ember Moon. You were part of NXT. Vince McMahon deems you to be dead on arrival. Get off his TV show. You mean nothing. Your special look, your cool eyes, your music, your entrance, you mean nothing. We need the irresistible force. We're going to take a line that Gorilla Monsoon made famous, and we're going to slap it on this woman to hopefully help her get over. I can resist Nia Jax very fucking easily, I can tell you that much. Irresistible force my ass. The only thing irresistible about her is the way it makes my stomach turn, and I have to go take a huge fucking dump in the bathroom every time I have to hear, "I like most girls." Unacceptable. Unbelievable. Terrible. These are words that could be used to describe most of the things tonight. You want to talk about how Ember Moon was dead and buried? Let's talk about the Revival. You are from NXT. Vince McMahon deems you to be fucking dead on arrival. The Revival will never be revived on Monday Night Raw after tonight. You got the Lucha House Party. Lucha, losers. These guys were on 205 Live. They were doing their thing on 205 Live. And you know what? It fit well on 205 Live. And it started, I guess, to get over. So, of course, we have to take them and put them on Raw. What did we learn from the Cruiserweights being on Raw the first time? Apparently, nothing. When you take guys like Kalisto and Gran Metalik and you put them on a Monday Night Raw with no build behind them, No reason for the crowd to give a shit. Do you think the main roster audience of a Monday Night Raw tunes into 205 Live? I'm a hardcore fan. I barely tune into 205 Live as it is. They have no idea who these three are. If you had plans on them coming to the show, you should have been building it up for weeks, showing them how a Lucha House Party is done. What the fuck is a Lucha House Party? That's what everybody in the crowd tonight was thinking. What's a Lucha House Party? Why didn't you have the foresight to tell everybody what it is? Like you used to do back in the day. Show us vignettes of these guys getting down, having some big old Lucha party, jumping around, doing flips on trampolines, hanging out in Matt Hardy's house. Who cares what they're doing? But get people interested before you just throw them out there to the wolves for everybody to sit on their hands. And then to top it all off, you have them beat the Revival in a match that barely lasted 5 minutes. I don't understand this show. It's absolutely lost. There was no reason for that. The Revival is one of the only tag teams in the entire company that when they get the mic are actually trying to do something. They're trying to get themselves over as heels. They're putting down the rest of the division, telling everybody they're better than you because they wrestle old school. They don't do flippy shit. They're all about just busting you in the face. That's a great gimmick to get behind. But they got no fuel put underneath them. You know who got the fuel? The Lucha fucking House Party. And I don't understand why. These guys couldn't fucking get over when they had the Cruiserweight division and the purple ropes and all that shit. Nobody gave a shit about them then. What makes you think they're going to give a shit about them on Monday Night Raw right now? And all they are is another 3-man team. So now Raw is going to have their version of the New Day, but they're going to be Latino. Is that good? Is that good? The 3 Lucha, wrestlers that are going to be on Monday Night Raw are going to be relegated to that New Day joke comedy tag team bullshit section. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you. Was it worth it? I guarantee you Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder are counting the days till that contract expires so they can go actually do what they want to do and wrestle. When you watch Monday Night Raw, how much wrestling did we have tonight? We had the first hour and a half of the show go by. We only had 2 matchups. The first one being Boring Trashly and my man Leo Rush ruining everything with his big fucking mouth on the outside. Lashley. Get the hook and pull this guy off the stage. Nobody cares. It's not getting over. And it's because it has to do with Bobby Lashley. Because when you look like trash and you smell like trash, you definitely is trash. Because he's not money. God damn it, Mella is more money than Bobby Lashley is money. God damn them for making me even say those words. You think I'm overreacting? I don't. I absolutely don't. This show is a fucking mess. All week long, I was looking forward to, actually for once looking forward to, seeing what was going to go down between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins tonight on Monday Night Raw. Do you know what went down? Nothing. Nothing. Every time we had to reference Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose or anything that was involving that segment last week, it became a Roman Reigns piece, complete with the sad piano music and all this stuff, and that's fine. And you want to show the little kids showing their support for him, and that's fine, but at some point enough's enough, and I hope that they kind of start toning it down a little bit and just letting the guy go and recover. Do what you got to do. Don't make him a focal point. Don't try to make him a martyr. Don't try to make him to be more special than the hundreds of thousands of other people that are most likely battling leukemia around the world because he's a celebrity. I think it's a little pompous, and I think it's a little bit much, and I think it's coming off as disingenuous, which is what makes me feel angry about it, because at some point it feels less like they really give a shit and more like we just need to talk about Roman because we don't know what to do. I certainly hope that's not the case. I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm just saying that's what it feels like sitting on my couch all night long at every turn. Everywhere they could put it, they put Roman and the leukemia thing in there. And the best case of it was Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out there tonight. Dean Ambrose says not one fucking word. Seth Rollins is out there. Nah, 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 nah. You broke up the Shield on the worst night ever because of Roman's leukemia. This is what you had. All week I waited for Dean Ambrose to stand there and do this. On the fucking ramp. And then the guy actually took the mic at one point. Looked like he was going to say something. And Seth Rollins fucking cut him off. I'm like, he was finally going to say something. And now you're like, oh no, you don't want to come down here and face the architect and blah, blah, wah, wah. Like a whiny crybaby. I'm going to end you. Come down here. I'll go up there and... And then Dean Ambrose just walks off. Walks off. The guy didn't even jump the guardrail. Seth Rollins barely gave chase. Dean Ambrose just walks away. And you guys are okay with this. Oh, he's being mysterious, Mr. Nightmare. No. They just didn't know what the fuck to write for him to say. I'm sure it had something to do with Roman in the original script. And now they can't go with that because Roman's not there. So what is he going to say? Nothing. He's going to make faces at us. He's going to make faces. No. This is not what I waited all fucking week for. A bunch of retarded faces. Guy looked like he had a bad gas attack at the top of the fucking steps. Oh, my stomach. I can't come talk to you, Seth. My stomach hurts. I'm a lunatic. Absolute trash. Let's go down the rest of this card. Braun Strowman confronted Brock Lesnar. We talked about that. Finn Balor defeats Bobby Lashley via disqualification. We're talking about my man, right? We're talking about the human milk dud walking around out there. He loses by disqualification, and because he gave Finn Balor a beatdown, Baron Corbin wants to place him in John Cena's place for the crown jewel because Bobby Lashley is the guy. There's a prime spot for you to take somebody who finally is not an actual fucking American and put it in the World Cup, and you still failed to do that. You took as American as apple pie the walking milk dud Bobby Lashley. I want to see it even less now. Now we got to hear Lio Rush talking about the World Cup looking like gold and smelling like gold. I know what I'm seeing, and I don't need to know what the hell you're smelling. Keep it to yourself, Lio Rush. God damn it. The 10-woman tag team match, I barely paid attention. There was no need for it. You're ruining Survivor Series. You're giving away the 10-woman Survivor Series match as it is. All right, whatever it is you had planned. What is this, practice? You're letting them practice on Monday Night Raw for what's going to come up in 3 weeks instead of doing something interesting, like I said, and have qualifiers? Have Lita versus Ruby Riott. The winner gets on the team. You can have Mickie James versus Alicia Fox so that one of them gets off the fucking team and we don't have to see it. The possibilities there were endless. 10 women. You could have did Bayley versus Sarah Logan. Winner gets on the Raw team. And then you can have a Raw team mixed and matched with heels and baby faces. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? It would have been interesting. But they don't care. They don't care, especially when it comes to the women. I care infinitely more about the women on this roster than any of them do. And that's a goddamn shame. Match was full of botches. Alicia Fox, again, I think her fucking brain is not even connected to the stem of her spine. Because there is no way that girl has any function of her own human body. The way she flails and moves around, she was taking simple headlock takeovers and doing 360s from a simple hair flip. The girl's got no control over her body, flailing around like a crash test dummy. You'd be better off wrestling one of those. It would probably be safer. Nothing special about this match. They wanted, Trish and Lita on the same team. That was a big, exciting thing to point out. They're on the same team. They were on the same team less than 24 hours ago, you nimrods. I can't stand this company. And the blatant, blind rhetoric that just comes spewing out of these people's mouths or out of their pens as they're writing the script for these people who can't even deliver the script. Michael Cole missing his cue how many times, trying to give you that, oh, such a somber tone tonight as we want to talk once again about Roman Reigns and the leukemia. And then we get back to the Monday Night Raw tonight and the crown jewel, and I can't. It's so forced and disingenuous. I can't believe that they even truly care anymore. It's ruthless on the fans. Just beating us down, bringing us down. Every time you maybe started to feel like, oh, okay, we're getting back into Raw, then they got to hit you back with it again and be like, don't forget about it. Don't you ever forget about it. Ruined everything about tonight's show. Elias, the new babyface Elias, they found a way to ruin that. And I see some people on social media saying, oh, this is a callback to the 90s and the days of the Austins and the this and the that. How? How when it ends up with him in a match with Jinder fucking Mahal? Sure, he gets the win, but was that really necessary? All the time that was wasted for him to come out to the ring, sing his song, to then go to Baron Corbin's office to sing it to him. Why didn't the segment just start there? Wasted time, dragging out a segment that should not have been nearly as long because they don't know what to do. All of it to set up a match that nobody wants to see. But at the very least, Elias finally getting a win where he needs to, maybe starting to establish some momentum by taking out Jinder Mahal. If this is not a one-time thing just to propel him to his next feud and it becomes his first feud, I'm already done with it. Jinder Mahal and his friggin' constellation back can take the first ticket back with the WWE to the crown jewel and just stay there, bro. I don't even care if he's from there. Just leave him there. Because I don't want him in the WWE anymore. Send him back to Canada, where he's really from. That would be a better use of his time. The Glorious Gables came out with a win tonight. Holy shit. And imagine this, they put them in a match with The Ascension. Can you believe that? Holy shit. Where did they come up with that idea? What an original piece of fucking gold. And then they want to, oh no, wait a minute, Seth. You're wrong. It was a triple threat match with the AOP. And the AOP did not win. And that's okay. You don't have to win them all. But I didn't like this match. You got the Ascension beating the Glorious Gables week in and week out, and then singles victory and that victory, and I don't care about it at all. The only thing I wanted to see was the Authors of Pain destroy these guys, and when the match was over, they did. And that's fine. I still hate Drake Maverick with them, but this was unnecessary, and it was still just as lazy. Because at the end of the day, this was just another match between Gable and Rude and the Ascension. The Authors of Pain really playing no part in it, and the Ascension only there to eat the pinfall, so that the Authors of Pain don't have to receive a blemish on their record, and the Glorious Gables can climb higher, and we all still sit here waiting for the Bobby Roode heel turn. Maybe they don't want to do too many heel turns in succession, since we just had Dean Ambrose do his. Maybe they want to do an even slower burn on Bobby Roode, but at this rate, it's going to be so slow, it's going to come to a complete fucking standstill, and it's never going to go anywhere. We talked about Seth Rollins demanding his explanation from a silent and mysterious face-making Dean Ambrose. Gives a shit. Nia Jax defeating Ember Moon, confronted by Tamina. We talked about that. The Loser House Party versus the Revival. We talked about that. I'm sorry, Revival. I'm sorry, Dash and Dawson, bro. When I watched you guys a couple of years back in NXT, I thought you were the future of the tag team division. And the one thing I wish for you more than anything is that you never, ever went to the main roster. If they were still in NXT, they would be killing it. They would be clamoring at the bit to have them on the main roster, but Triple H not strong enough to protect his roster from Vince McMahon's grubby, disgusting, uncreative fingers. He brings them up to do nothing with them and has them lose to the Lucha House Party. Explain it to me, because I don't get it. Dolph Ziggler defeats Apollo Crews. I don't give a shit. I didn't give a shit about this at all. Did you expect Apollo Crews to win with Dolph Ziggler going into this fucking tournament on Friday? Why would they do that? Didn't they establish last week that Apollo Crews is now on his own and he's going to start to try to gain momentum? And now he's just fucking losing. That does no good for the kid. And what good is a win over Apollo Crews for Dolph Ziggler? This is a guy that's a former heavyweight champion. On that note, he shouldn't even be the one in this fucking World Cup. It should be Drew McIntyre. At least the guy's not an American. And you could maybe say it's a World Cup because, hey, we got this guy from Scotland. Right? Awful. Absolutely terrible. We seen Kurt Angle tonight doing a promo. And the one thing I'll say, I'll be nice to Kurt in this moment because I'll say this. Kurt Angle as a GM is fucking terrible. Kurt Angle, the wrestling machine, cutting a wrestling promo for a match that he's having is much better. Much, much better. He brought the intensity that he claims that he has, and I seen it in his eyes. There was just something about his eyes as he was delivering this promo. And I believed in him just a little bit. Not looking forward to his first round match with Dolph Ziggler, but at this point, do you think Kurt Angle's going to lose? Like, I don't even know how to call this thing. This is the most mishmash tournament I've ever seen thrown together. They had the graphic put up there, and I really didn't know who to choose. I truly was going for John Cena with this whole thing, but now my pick's going to go with Rey Mysterio. I think Rey Mysterio is going to win this World Cup. But that's just my prediction. And then the end of the show, we had D-Generation X ambushing the Brothers of Destruction after we seen the same tired promo from these old, tired men. I know they can all still kick my ass if I ever stood toe-to-toe with them, but I would not be afraid to tell them that, guys, your time is over. Remember, all of you who want to get down on me for that, do you remember in the Attitude Era? Do you remember those days? I've made mention of this before on this show. This is for some of the new viewers that might not have heard this one. Remember how you felt when Ric Flair was wrestling well into the year 2000? When we were seeing Hulk Hogan drop the leg? When we had Roddy Piper coming back to the WCW to fight Hulk Hogan? And the Ultimate Warrior came back for the One Warrior Nation? Do you remember all these things? Do you remember how you felt about all these things? Do you remember what you said about these guys? Legends in the business. Nothing but respect for the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Nothing but respect for most of these guys. But do you remember the feeling of, why are we watching these old guys? The WWE themselves went out of their way to vilify Macho Man Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan and everybody that defected to WCW before the birth of the NWO, calling them geriatric dinosaurs. You know, the Nacho Man and the Huckster with the walkers, not even able to cut a promo and dropping the dentures out of their teeth, making fun of it. That's where we are at with guys like Triple H and Shawn and The Undertaker. And even to some extent, guys like The Rock. Do you want to see The Rock come back and wrestle? The Rock looks fantastic. The Rock does not look like a fucking old man. But do you want to see him come back and wrestle? For what reason? Because you were a big Rock guy? You liked the eyebrow? You did all that shit back in the 90s? Those days are over, everybody. Pick somebody new and get behind them. Buy their shirts. Get with them. The future is happening before your eyes. But we can't get to it because you all keep getting fucking excited when Batista comes back. And thoughts of The Rock. And John Cena. Has-beens. Legends in the industry. Paid their dues, earned everybody's respect. Now let them go do something else. It's ruining the show. Saying that hurts me. It hurts me to the core. You have no idea. I never thought in my life that I would ever say, I don't want to see guys like The Undertaker and Triple H around. But the time is now. You got Finn Balor trapped in matches with Bobby Lashley, Elias doing fucking nothing. But we got to focus on these guys. having a match for no reason. That means nothing to anybody except for them. You want to come back, Shawn Michaels? Come back and wrestle Johnny Gargano. Come back and wrestle Andrade Cien Almas. Come back and wrestle the new generation. I don't want to see you wrestle these guys anymore. Anybody that thinks that Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker this year, next year, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, 2 years from now, doesn't matter when, it will never be what it was. That story had finished. It had a fantastic conclusion. Why they're ruining it? That's why. Because it's all about the money. Ted DiBiase. All about the fucking money with this company. And it shows with the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. And that Crown Jewel pay-per-view shows us just how much this company don't give a shit about us, or truly doesn't give a shit about its women. The way they book this show tonight shows the exact same thing. The company is lost. Without being able to ride the back of the big dog, they truly don't know what to do. That's going to do it, you guys. I don't know what else I can tell you guys that I haven't already said. Thank you all so very much for tuning in to this very fired up episode of Monday Night Raw Review. You guys know Monday Night Raw brings out the fucking worst in me, so I'm sure you expected this. You might have even expected it to be worse, but I'm trying to keep it at a level where the world's not going to shit all over me for my feelings. Because I could go on and I can really, really rip, but I don't want to get too controversial on you because it can come off in a way that makes me feel or make me seem like an asshole, and though it's not where it's coming from. You might have already gotten those feelings out for the way I said some of these things tonight, and if you felt that way, I apologize, because I'm not coming from there. I'm just trying to show you guys that without Roman, Vince is blind. He doesn't know what to do. He's got all these great toys, all these great animals to play with, but without his favorite dog, this is what we get. Monday Night Raw for October the 29th, 2018. Don't forget to get in on that Audible trial. That's audibletrial.com/Sledgehammer TV. Get your one free audiobook right now. Go to the link, sign up. It's not going to cost you a single dime to sign up. And then if you cancel before the 30 days are up, you still get to keep that audiobook and listen to it whenever you want, however long you want. Have you already tried Audible? Maybe you got it from somebody else. Why don't you suggest it to one of your friends? You got the holidays coming up. Maybe give it out, right? Give out the link in your Christmas cards. Hey, as a bonus gift, get a free audiobook on my buddy Nick Nightmare. And don't forget to always check out his channel, which you guys are already a fan of. And if you are still here with me at 37 minutes, we're wrapping this one up pretty quick this week because they didn't really give us much to work with. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button as we are well over the 900 mark and creeping so much closer towards that 1K so we can finally get over that hump and get towards moving the next goal of 10,000 subscribers. And that march can begin right now with a super awesome wrestling fan just like yourself that enjoyed every single minute of this show that I put on for you guys tonight. And then smash that like button to make sure that I know that you had a good time tonight, and share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they know that this Monday Night Raw tonight was a piece of hot garbage that needs to be hammered into oblivion, just like this. Thank you guys, all my sledgeheads in the Sledgehammer Club, for being a part of this show. As always, without you, I am not here. You guys are awesome. I love you all so very, very much. Don't forget to be here tomorrow night for the SmackDown Live review. Check out the Evolution review. It was absolutely awesome. My review, not the show. Go check it out. Everything that's live on the channel. And before the month is up, make sure you get in your vote for the Subscription Box Showdown October edition. I need to know who wins the SBS Championship, and that, as always, is up to you. So make sure you do that and leave that vote in the upper right hand corner, where you in this video will find links to that exact video and many other things that you could enjoy, brought to you by us here at Sledgehammer TV. That, my friends, will be all. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is my team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the Wrestling God of Thunder, and the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. and his tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball. We are so glad to be with you each and every week. Thank you once again. Love and respect to all of you. That is going to do it, and we are out of here. We will see you next time right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV. Booyah.